co-walk with Alma Heights. This time we're taking a look at Allie Olmo, who's going to be right here in lane 6, her 200-yard freestyle from our regional championships earlier this year in February. So again, she's in lane 6. Notice where her feet are currently. If the video would play. Okay, her feet are here. The starter says take your mark. And then she's going to adjust her foot after he says take your mark. So ideally, your feet are where they need to be before the starter ever says take your mark. That way you don't have to make any adjustments, which can get you false DQ for a false start as well. Also, right here, there's tension in her neck before the buzzer ever goes off. So we want to be relaxed from head to toe. A relaxed muscle is going to react more quickly than one with tension. You see there's tension in her neck. She's looking straight down the gutters. I'd like for that neck to be relaxed and looking back towards her back foot and the wedge. The buzzer goes off. The first thing to react is her legs, which is 50% of what we want, but also I'd like for her arms to get involved there too. So the arms are gripping the blocks. All fingers are together in front of the blocks, including the thumb. Buzzer goes off, your legs react to push off the blocks, and your arms are going to throw the blocks back behind you. So her arms just go forward. They get nice and tight and streamlined. Her head is exactly where it needs to be. And then her legs are, if you can see right here, a little bit apart. And they're a little bit steep too. So she doesn't enter at a great angle from the start of the race there. She's going to come up. The timing of her breakout is really nice. Her elbow's the first thing that comes out, and her arm's a little bent. So it's if her arm is flat, it'd be all right. Her exit point of the hand is good, but not a lot of power coming from the flick itself. The reason we want to flick is because that flick is going to give us the momentum to swing our arm around. And while her exit point is good by the hip, she's not really getting a lot of power and momentum from it. So now we're coming into the turn, and notice her turn on every race it's a nice tight turn, and she's really low, which is awesome. And she bounces off nice as well, but she doesn't really utilize her underwater kicks, and she breaks out before the flags. And then for the rest of the race, I believe she's going to breathe on her first stroke every time too. So in short course swimming, we want to utilize the walls as much as possible. This is a race, 200-yard freestyle. There's 7 walls in this race, and then the start. And so if we're not utilizing the wall, so we take a look here. If we're not utilizing the walls, we're really at a disadvantage. So here, the first thing she's doing is taking that breath, and she's coming up before the flag. So we can gain a lot and not even be any faster at swimming just by really fine-tuning the walls. Now, if you take a look at her breasts, every time she's breathing, she's looking up towards that ceiling. It was a real nice wooden ceiling, but I don't want you to look at it in the middle of a race. So in freestyle, a couple things on her breast. So in freestyle, you want your head, if you're going to cut your body in half, so you had a front half and a back half, that line that would come from the middle of your head, you would want that to be where the water's hitting your head. And Allie does a nice job at keeping her head there, but as she comes down from the breath, we take a look right here. So as she's driving her arm forward from the breath, her head is going to dip underwater just a little bit. And so she's doing a nice job of staying flat for the rest of the time, but each time she's taking that breath, she's doing a little bit of a down motion, and then she recovers up to where she needs to be. So it's not a full up and down motion that's unnecessary, but it is a down motion that's unnecessary. So that's something that we're going to need to address moving forward as well. The other thing about the breath is there's going to be a natural pocket of water that your head creates when you're in the breathing motion. And so let's see if we can take a look at it here. Stop it there. So if your head is in the right position, there's going to be a natural pocket of water that kind of swoops down where your mouth is, and that's going to allow you to breathe while maintaining one goggle in the water, and you can keep your head flat. You see here, Allie's chin is much lower than her forehead is, and both goggles are out of the water, and even on some breasts, you're seeing some of the right cheek out of the water when she's breathing to the left. She's always breathing to the left. So we can really adjust that. We don't need to look that far up, and it's not a bad rotation. You see here, her body's in a great position to breathe. It's just really the neck and the head that are not where we want to be. So this, I believe, is the 125 mark. We're getting a little bit floaty into the walls. So what I mean by that is we're floating into the wall. So she takes her last stroke, and we're just kind of gliding into it. We can adjust our stroke count at about the flags so that we're taking the flip turn. That last stroke takes us right into the flip turn. There's not any period of time in which we're floating into the wall. All right, throughout the whole race, Allie's doing a really nice job at maintaining a steady, consistent kick. She's not pausing in her kick while she breathes, which is certainly a problem that a lot of distance swimmers have. This is a 200 freestyle, which is not a distance race, but Allie's kind of a distance-based swimmer, I'd say. Her arms coming over real nice. At the midpoint of the recovery, I think she's in a good position, but here she's entering just a tad bit early, but she is entering with with the correct fingers. So the 3 inside fingers, thumb, middle, and index, not in that order, are the ones that should hit first. Okay, continue. We're starting to get a little slice in the water a little bit with that left arm as we breathe. So you see that elbow's coming up, and that hand is not really doing anything by the hip at this point. The right arm is a little bit better because she's not taking the breath, but we have a lot of room for improvement on the arms as well. All right, so here, this should be the last length. Allie her kick is increasing. She's getting while she's finishing the race hard, she's maintaining proper technique with her arms. It doesn't get worse really, and so she keeps it nice and clean, and it's a great finish. See here, she does not breathe inside of the flags, and that last stroke is a little flat, but it's a really hard finish, so it's hard to complain about that. We can adjust it, just like the flip turns, adjust our stroke count at the flags, and we can hit the wall so that our last stroke is with that full rotation, our left shoulder's out of the water if you're finishing with the right arm. The head down's at the finish, that's really great. Now if we take a look at the splits up on the wall, so Allie, if I can get clear, Allie's in lane 6, so she goes 2:10.7. This is her best time to date. She's out 104 and back 105, which is really, really awesome. If we break it down by 50, 31.1, 33.7, 33.5, and 32.3. This, I mean, it'd be impossible to complain about these splits. I really see this more as a split for a 200 long course swim. For Allie, I think she has a little bit more room to take it out faster. The problem that we had at district and then regional prelims the day before this race was she was taking out too fast and then she was gassed at the end of the race. So she made the proper adjustment. She swam it just like we said to swim it, and she dropped 2 seconds from prelims. This is really, really great, well swam race. The splits are phenomenal. It's not often you get to swim a race this well. And so really proud of Allie for this, and I'm looking forward to, I mean, if we can get her front half speed better, and she still takes it back in a 105. She's dropping time from there. We address the walls and the breathing. I mean, very promising season coming up for Allie.